Hi, I'm White Wolf. I am going to start vlogging. We will see how this goes. I've never done this before, but I have a feeling it'll be easier than blogging right now. I made some notes since this is my introduction video, and so I'll be looking at that a little bit. Now, legally, my name is something else, but I in the BDSM scene and at the club I volunteer at, the BDSM club, I go by White Wolf. It's actually what I wish I could go by in my day-to-day life. And there's a story behind that that I'll get into at another time. I am into BDSM. I'm a masochist. I'm actually a self-proclaimed pain slut. I'm a collared submissive. This is my collar, day collar that I can wear all the time. It's actually padlocked, so it takes a key to unlock it. I've got a wolf dangling from it. Wolves are very important to me. Wolves and black panthers are kind of my spirit animal, if you will. I am Christian. Well, I don't like that label anymore because so many Christians are so different from me, as I'm very liberal and I incorporate some Wicca and pagan beliefs into my own and other beliefs. But I'm a follower of Christ, so I tend to go by that instead of saying Christian. I grew up very conservative Baptist, going to church every Sunday and Wednesday. King James Bible, you know, whole 9 yards, straight, monogamous, never thought of being anything but those. Now I'm bisexual and into BDSM, and I'm polyamorous. I am not romantic with my dom, but he's a big part of my life, and I'm looking for romance if it happens. I would like to. I've got a female play partner right now, but yeah, I mean, it's not something that's priority for me, but it would be nice, you know. I do get lonely and stuff at times, but that can either be feminine or masculine, you know, whichever. We'll see what happens. I'm on Facebook dating some. I'm wearing makeup right now, but you won't always see me with makeup, which I look horrible, I feel like, without or with. But anyway, that's my own neurosis. But I put makeup on since this is my first vlog. I wanted to look a little better. But as you can see, my eyeshadow kind of spilled below my eye on this eye and is a mess, but I tried washing it off. I do deal with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, from childhood sexual abuse by my father. I actually did not remember any of the abuse till I was 18, and I still don't remember a lot of it, but I have, you know, dealt with flashbacks and all of the typical post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms. It's pretty controlled right now, though, thank God. It's a miracle. I never thought I'd be able to say those words. I am bipolar, but it's controlled right now as well. I recently got the diagnosis of borderline personality disorder, which I'm still learning about. One thing that inspired me to start vlogging was not only my sister Mila, whose vlogs I love, but I saw somebody do one on borderline personality disorder, and it really helped open my eyes as to how it actually affects you. And I have social anxiety. I have problems with dissociation. If you don't know what that is, basically the mild extreme that everybody understands is if you're driving somewhere, you get there and you're like, oh, I don't even remember the drive. Kind of a daydreaming kind of thing. The way extreme that is very, very, very rare is dissociative identity disorder, also known as multiple personality disorder. But I'm somewhere in the middle, where if I'm very emotional at all, especially upset, I will dissociate and have trouble remembering later things that happened during that time, and I'm just really foggy and feel disconnected from my body, and I'm just kind of out of it. I have a history of eating disorders. Started off with bulimia. Now anytime I relapse, it's more atypical anorexia, where I restrict to like 200, 300 calories a day or something like that ridiculousness. I don't really purge anymore, thankfully. I haven't relapsed much anymore, because the last time I did, about a year ago or 2 years ago now, it really messed up my body. I started having severe symptoms of POTS, which is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, where when I would stand up or have any altitude change like that, I would near pass out. I also had heart palpitations a lot, and just tachycardia, which is fast heartbeat all the time. I've always had some of those symptoms. I would always get dizzy upon standing, but it's always been really mild until the last time I relapsed with my eating disorder, and it became like life altering. Like, I could not function normally. I used to self-injure. It's been over a year now that I am self-injury free. Started that in 2001, so it took a long time for me to get a hold of it. But yeah, it's been great to finally be free of that. I spent many years being suicidal. When the PTSD started, when I had my first flashback and realized I was sexually abused, then that's when all that began. And I dealt with it alone and kept it silent from my family. My father's been out of my life since I was 12, thankfully. But my mom, I was her caretaker. She had really bad health, physically and mentally. A lot of the same problems I have, physically and mentally. Like, physically, I have fibromyalgia, psoriatic arthritis, degenerative disc disease, and so I'm in pain pretty much all the time, and I have to go to a pain management center, and she had a lot of the same problems. And yeah, she was bedridden for the last few years of her life, but she died suddenly in 2015. And then my grandma, who I pretty much always lived with, my grandma and my grandpa on my mom's side, kind of took over being her caretaker because her health started declining when mom died. And she died unexpectedly in 2015. My grandpa had died in 2008. He was the first person I'd ever been close to that passed away. He was like the dad I never had. He died from brain cancer. Now I'm my uncle's caretaker, my mom's brother. He's autistic. We didn't get a diagnosis of that until 2 years ago. Like, he's in his 50s and just got diagnosed with autism. We always knew something was up, but we didn't know what it was. So, yeah, I'm kind of his caretaker now, although we don't live together anymore. So he's pretty self-sufficient, and it's just finances, business stuff, all that kind of stuff. You know, I help take care of him in those regards. I work at a hotel as a front desk clerk. Was working 4 nights a week, overnight 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Now I'm working 5 nights a week. Overnight is challenging because the next day I don't just like sleep for hours. I usually get up after a couple hours sleep once I get home and go about my day. I volunteer with Anime Week in Atlanta. I am the chairman's personal assistant, so that keeps me busy a lot as we go to the clubhouse where his office is and stay there a lot of the days. The time during the days. I'm in 3 D&D campaigns. It's crazy. They're usually at least 5-hour long sessions. One meets every other week. The others meet weekly when we can. Soon it's going to go down to 2 D&D campaigns as I've got to work Wednesday nights. So, my family mostly is chosen family, the friends that I live with, and 4 girls I consider my sisters, and 1 guy I consider my brother. My bro is up in New York. Sorry, I'm shaking because it's cold outside. One of my sisters is in New York as well. 2 of them I grew up with. My mom used to babysit them, and we grew up together, basically. And then, let's see, what else? I'm goth, even though I don't usually dress it. I used to, and I do wear a lot of black, I have to admit. Heavy eyeliner often. But it's more than a fashion aesthetic, you know, it's a way of looking at the world and just a lot of different things. I'm a writer. Never published yet. I have finished a few manuscripts. I write paranormal romance, some young adult, and some erotic BDSM romance. Hoping to be published one day, but I've actually got to take the time to write and make the effort. I'm bad at that. It takes a lot of energy from me. I am a Hufflepuff, a huge Harry Potter nerd. I'm an INFJ-T, so yeah, I'm introvert and all that. But I love being around people as well, like a few people at a time, or my chosen people. So, I don't like being alone too much, actually. I get drained from being around people, though, unfortunately. I am an amateur photographer. I love taking photos. I'm a very creative person in general. Love to sing, love to draw, color, just everything creative. But it also kind of dried up when the PTSD started and all in 2000. And I've been trying to reclaim that side of me, but it's taking a lot of effort and having to retrain myself to get back into it. Yeah, that's all I had in my notes. So I plan to use this kind of as a diary, just saying how my day is and stuff and what I go through. Talk about my mental health issues, other people's mental health issues, social things, politics, whatever. My friends, you know, stuff they go through. I have a couple of friends who are trafficked, and human trafficking is a huge passion of mine, so I'll probably touch on that some as well. I'm in counseling. I see a psychiatrist as well for medication. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, but there's my introduction, and I hope something I say helps somebody at some point. Thanks.